wanted to Shabbat Shalom, streaming friends. We hope you're working. Let's see. We're going to see what happens.
You don't teach you this in rabbinical school.
No. Well, if I had gone to MIT, I might know how to do how to fix this problem. Oh, great, it's working. Wonderful, wonderful. We love that news. Shabbat Shalom. Okay, so what I think I'm going to do is close everything else and then hopefully save some battery here. Turn off all the notifications. All right, here we go. You can't hear anything? You can't hear anything, Bruce?
Well, it's not your fault.
Okay. Well, I still want Bruce to be able to hear.
Well, I got some new hearing aids.
Still working on it, huh? Well, it's okay. Gas is like $8 right now, so it's fine.
Give them a big task to feed you. So Karen, you and Bruce are here live every week?
Yes.
Oh.
Well, we only live a mile and a half away, so, and we like to give Rabbi Alicia support, so, and love the live stream people that think that there's a crowd. Which is why we're not sitting in our usual seats in the third row.
Well, welcome everybody. Shabbat Shalom. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for joining us this evening. You might notice I am wearing a different talit. This was the talit that I received for my bat mitzvah. I helped to design it myself, and as you can tell, my taste in colors have changed a lot in that they haven't. And, it's seen better days, certainly, but it's beautiful. I helped to tie the tzitzit. It was a really meaningful experience, and the reason I bring it up, of course, is because today, this weekend marks the 100th anniversary of the first ever bat mitzvah. And it also happens to be the Hebrew date of my bat mitzvah, the Torah portion of my bat mitzvah. So I'm actually going to read a little Torah tonight. It'll be lovely. I'm excited to be together. So we're going to get started. We're going to sing Hini Matau, which you will find on page 4. Hine matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. How good it is to be together this evening. How good it is. We are going to continue with candle lighting. I'll light them and we'll sing it together. Does that sound good to everybody? We are on page 9. If you're at home and you're watching, I'll invite you to light candles also. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Good Shabbos, everybody. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. We are going to continue with Shalom Aleichem, which is on page 10. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem Leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Ni Leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzeitzchem Leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We are going to continue welcoming Shabbat in song and prayer on page 14, Lecha Dodi. Lecha Dodi, Likra Kala, B'nei Shabbat Nekavla. Lecha Dodi, Likra Kala, B'nei Shabbat Nekavla. Shamor v'zachor v'dibor echad, Hishmiyanu el hamiuchad. Adonai echad u'shemo echad, L'shemo tiferet v'lichila. Lecha Dodi, Likra Kala, B'nei Shabbat Nekavla. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, Ki mekor habaracha. Merosh mikadam nasucha, Sof ma'aseh b'machshavat chila. Lecha Dodi, Likra Kala, B'nei Shabbat Nekavla. Hitoreri, Kiva orech kumiori, Uri shir daberi, Kavod Adonai alayich nigla. Lecha Dodi, Likra Kala, B'nei Shabbat Nekavla. We rise. Boi leshalom ateret bala, Gam besimcha ve'usohala, Toch emunem segula, Boi chala. Lecha Dodi, Likra Kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabla, nekabla. We are going to turn now to page 17. At this point in our service, we not only do we separate the parts of the service, the Ma'ariv, from the like regular evening prayers from the Shabbat prayers, but we also get a chance to like take a breath and praise God. Chatzi Kaddish is interesting because there are six different versions of Kaddish throughout the service. Including the mourner's Kaddish, but the words are almost always the same, which are all words of praise. So, and they're mostly in Aramaic, which is what makes them a little confusing. So, if you'll join me, we are on page 17. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei Rabba, Ba'alma divarach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, B'chayechon u'vyomechon u'chayedecho Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala u'vizman kariv, V'yimeru amen. Yehi Shmei Rabba Mevorach, Le'olam olam me'omaya, Yitbarach, Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, V'yipar, V'yitramam, V'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, V'yitaleh, V'yitalal, Shemei Dekudesha Barichu, Le'elam Mikol Birchata V'shirata, Tushbechata v'nechemata ta'amiran be'alma ve'imeru amen. Please rise. We continue with Baruch Hu on page 18. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. HaMevorach, HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. We'll invite you to be seated. We're going to continue in the English at the bottom of page 18. Our prayer, Ma'ariv Aravim, is a very interesting prayer. The words Ma'ariv Aravim, which are Asher Bidvaro Ma'ariv Aravim, you are the one who evenings evening, is really what that means. Who makes the evening happen. That kind of repetition happens often in Hebrew, and it's more like I love that idea. Who God, blessed are you, God, who brings on the evening, who evenings evening. Praised be you, O God, our God, ruler of the universe. With your word you bring on evenings. With wisdom you open the gates of heaven, and with understanding change the times, alternate the seasons, and arrange the stars in their watches in the sky according to your will. You create day and night. You roll the light away from before darkness, and darkness from before light. You cause day to pass and bring night, and differentiate between day and night. God's name is God of all hosts, the Almighty, who is living and enduring, will reign over us forever. Praised be our eternal God, who brings on the evening. Baruch atah Adonai, HaMa'ariv Aravim. We continue on the top of page 20. Oh, and at the bottom of page 20, sorry, that's where we are. 20. Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta, Amcha ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu lemadeta, al ken Adonai Eloheinu b'shachbenu, uvkumenu nasiach bechukecha, v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, uv'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed, ki chem hayenu, ve'orech yameinu, uvahem negeh yomam v'layla, ve'ahavadcha al tasir, mimenu le'olamim, Baruch ata Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod, Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. And you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. And all these words which I command you on this day shall be in your heart, shall be in your heart. And you shall teach them diligently unto your children, and you shall speak of them when you're sitting in your house, when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up, and when you rise up. And you shall bind them for a sign upon your hand, and they shall be for frontlets between your eyes. And you shall write them on the doorposts of your house, and upon your gates, and upon your gates, that you may remember and do all of my commandments, and be holy unto your God, unto your God, unto your God. We are going to continue now with Micha Mocha, the prayer. Who was that? Was that a Sunday school kid, or was that a teacher who was like, well, we talk about it every week, Rabbi. You always mention something about freedom. Yeah, that's the prayer. This is the prayer. Freedom. A prayer of freedom, a prayer of joy, a prayer of gratitude. We're going to do a one. I think we haven't done this version in a while, so I think you know it. I think I've said it before. You let me know. You'll tell me. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai. Mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai. Mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh. Nora tehilot. Osei Fele. Who is like you? Who is like you, Adonai? Who is like you, Adonai? When Moses and the children crossed the sea, they sang to you with songs of joy. Who is like you, Adonai? Adonai. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai. Mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh. Thanks for going with me on that one, y'all. I appreciate it. It's a good one, right? Like you seem to know the Hebrew parts, the English parts we can work on. That's fine. That's the easier of the two to teach, so that's great. We are going to continue with Hashkivenu. I'll invite you before we sing Hashkivenu to take a moment to set an intention here. Hashkivenu is a prayer about feeling sheltered, about being guided, about being held. So I'll invite you just to take a breath or two, think about that feeling as we pray this prayer. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Oh, guide my steps and help me find my way. I need your shelter now. So wrap me in your arms and guide my steps. And help me make this day a song of praise to you. So wrap me in your arms and guide my steps. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. We are going to continue with the Amidah, which you will find on page 51. Please rise. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha. Eternal God, open my lips that my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imateinu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Leah, Elohei Rachel, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor, Ha'nora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Ve'konei Hakol, Ve'zocher Chasdei Avot V'imahot, Umei Bigula Livnei V'neihem, Lema'an Shemo Ve'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Mashiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh Hakol atah Rav Le'Hoshia, Mechalkel Chaim B'Chesed, Mechayeh Hakol B'Rachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim V'Rofei Chol umatir asurim, umekayem emunato, lishenai afar, michamocha ba'al gevurot, umidor melech, melech mevit umechayeh, umatzmiach Yeshua, v'ne'eman ata la'achayot ha'kol, Baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh ha'kol. Atah kadosh, v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yehallel chasela. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el ha'kadosh. We are going to continue with Vishamru, which is on page 55. I will invite you to be seated. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledoratam berit olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledoratam berit olam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael, oti leolam, oti leolam. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledoratam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz, ve'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledoratam berit olam. U'bayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledoratam berit olam. And I want to take a few moments for some silent prayer and meditation, and then we will gather back together. Yehiyu leratzon imrefi ve'yon libi lefanecha Adonai Turi Vegoali. So I know that today is a short and sweet service, which means normally we try to get out of here by 7-ish. However, today is the day of something really significant. I mentioned it at the top of the service. And not only is it the 19th anniversary of my particular bat mitzvah, but the 100th anniversary of the first American girl to ever have a bat mitzvah. Her name was Judith Kaplan, March 18th, 1922. And she had her bat mitzvah at the Society for the Advancement of Judaism, which, changed life forever. Led to the idea of Sally Priestand's ordination 50 years ago this year, like many significant anniversaries this year. And I feel very grateful to be standing here at this moment because it was preparing for my bat mitzvah that maybe even a little before then, but definitely through that process that I was like, oh yeah, this is what I want to do. So I feel one of my what I like to call party tricks, besides a glittery sneaker, which you all know I love, is that I try to read my bat mitzvah portion every year. And I do this because my Uncle Joe, my Zadie's oldest brother, lived to 94, and he told me that the secret to living to old age, or to staying young, or to feeling young, is to chant your bar mitzvah portion every year, he said. So I try really hard to do it, even the years when I haven't had a pulpit or haven't had a Torah to go to. I still will look at it and make sure that it's still up in there. And he lived to 94, so I don't think he could be wrong. And he was just such a kind and wonderful person. And he was the eldest brother. My Zadie was the youngest brother. There was 20 years in between them or something. But they both had that same sense of that same impish grin. And I hope to keep mine as long as possible. So if you'll indulge me, we are going to do a short Torah service. I realized that I didn't tell you this beforehand. So if you wanted to grab a Chumash in the back, we are reading Tzav. That's the Parsha this week. It is, I'll tell you a little bit about it when we get there. So I'm going to invite you now to rise. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai imloch leolam vaed, Adonai oz le'amo yitain, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom, Av harachamim heitiva v'rtzoncha et Zion, Tivnei Chomot Yerushalayim, Tivnei Chomot Yerushalayim, Ki v'cha levad batachnu, Melech el Ram v'nisa, Adon olamim. Ki mitzion teitzei Torah, Ki mitzion teitzei Torah, Udevar Adonai miYerushalayim. Baruch Shenatan Torah, Torah, Baruch Shenatan Torah, Torah, Le'amo Yisrael b'kedushato. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo, Gadol Adonai Iti, Unerom Shemo Yachdav, Lecha Adonai Hagedula, Hagemura, Hatiferet, Ve'anetzach Ve'hamod, Yifol Hashamayim U'Haaretz. Kivo b'shamayim u'ba'aretz. Lecha Adonai hamamlacha ve'ami na'aseh lechol rosh. Al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, ha'olam omer. Al Torah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gemilut chasadim. Al haTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gemilut chasadim. All right, I will invite you now to be seated. Let's see, Torah posters. Interesting, normally when the tour is up here, I don't have a laptop. So there's usually a little more room, but here we are. Just making adjustments, doing our best. Okay, so let me pull this up. I'm reading the beginning of Tzav, which is Leviticus 6 something. I know a lot of things, but not that particular thing, so I'm going to tell you. 6:1, perfect. Beginning of Leviticus 6:1. It goes through chapter 8. I'm obviously not going to read the whole thing. So my thought is that we would do the brachot together as a community. Does that sound good? Okay, great. So if y'all will lead them and I'll respond to you, and then that's how we'll do it. If you'd like to come forward to do that, if you'd like to stay in your seats and do that, and what do you think logistically? Come on up. Yeah, come on up. Yeah. If you haven't seen the inside of a Torah, this is a great chance. Come on up. Yeah, it's been a minute. It's been a minute. If you're looking for the brachot, they are on page 66. And we are starting here. Ready? Baruch Adonai Hamborach. Baruch Adonai Hamborach leolam va'ed. Baruch Adonai Hamborach leolam va'ed. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Ata Adonai Noten HaTorah. Amen. I think I should be all right, but. Vaydaber Adonai Moshe lemor. You can come closer. Tzav et Aharon ved banav lemor. Zot Torah haolah hi haolah al mokta al hamizbeach kol halayla ad haboker ve'esh hamizbeach tukad bo ve'lavash hakohen mido vad u'michnasei vad yilbash al v'saro ve'herim et hadeshen asher tochal ha'esh et ha'olah al hamizbeach v'samo eitzel hamizbeach. We'll stop there. So let's do the blessing after, and then I will translate for you. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'hayei olam nata b'sochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Okay. Thank you all for giving me this opportunity to do this. It's really such a pleasure. So God spoke to Moses and said to him, command Aaron and his sons, saying, this is the laws of the sin offering. This is the ritual. It's a Zot Torah. This is the ritual of the sin offering. It is the offering that goes on the Mizbeach, on the altar all night until the morning, until the fire goes out. Right? Tukad bo. And then the next part is lavash hakohen, the priest dress. Oh, this is the word that I learned for my bat mitzvah is raiment, linen raiment, which is their clothing. And they go next with linen, like linen underwear, and takes up the ashes, which the fire has turned into a burnt offering, and places them beside the altar. And then he takes off of all of his stuff and puts on other vestments. So he has a specific set of clothing just to do the offerings, and carries the ashes outside to a pure place. That's what we read. Basically, this whole Torah portion is about like sacrifices, and it was very hard to sort of understand. But as I continue to read it, every time I study it, I sort of learn a little more. And it's really about community. It's about what each person's role in the community is and what it means to lead, which means like do these little things that you have to continue to do in order to keep a place alive, in order to keep sacrifices going, in order to keep an altar burning. And so it is a pleasure and a joy to be able to read my bat mitzvah portion. I don't know if you noticed this. There is this is a very interesting word, mokdah. You can see that tiny mem if you look really closely, right?
Yeah.
So the word is mokdah, but this tiny mem, there's a couple of times that this appears in throughout Leviticus, including the word vayikra. It has a tiny aleph. But this tiny mem is really interesting because it sort of changes the word if you don't have that mem there. It changes the meaning of the word, right? So it changes what we're looking at here. From the idea of mokdah, like to sit, to put it on the altar, I believe, remain on the altar, and to stand changes the meaning. Stands next to the altar, put it on the top of the altar. Interesting. There you go. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Jan, will you stay up so you can help me put the Torah away? I'm not going to lift it. I think you all saw the inside of it. Here, I'm going to give the live streaming people a moment. You didn't really get to see the inside, so here, this is a special Torah tour. There you go. That's what we read. Can they see it? Yeah, here we go. Okay. Torah tour. You don't get this if you're in person, let me tell you. You don't get upside down treatment. All right. We're going to return the Torah to the Ark. We have to re-roll this Torah. It needs a little love. We'll take a look at it next week. All right. Please rise. Maybe. We are on page. Oh, actually, before we do that, I'm going to do Mishberach while the Torah is out. Yeah, we're going to do Mishberach while the Torah is out. It's the tradition of our community and of many communities around the world to offer a blessing of healing while the Torah is in our midst. And when I say that, people are saying, oh, so you're worshiping next to it? What's the deal? I've had people ask me that. And the answer is that these words contain our secrets of generations. They contain our past, our present, and our future. And as we think about everything that is in this scroll, everything that it represents for us, and the holy nature of it, our relationship to it, it allows us to bring that holiness literally to the people who we are thinking of who are in need of healing. So in our community this week, we are thinking of Arlene Shaw, Shay Bukema, Lex Baum-Beslov, Joan Firestone, Steve and Sharon Burns, Mike Ingber, Barbara Saul, Suzanne Kovacs, Doreen Billett, Paul Pessis, and Mark Pierce. If there's anybody that you are thinking of this evening whose name you'd like to share with us as we pray for their healing, I invite you to do so.
Lauren Aaron and Brent Rogers. Ina Siegel, Justin G, and Brittany Hand. Jesse Best, Mary G.
Sam Wilbur.
We turn together to page 67. Mishaberach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishaberach imotenu mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. We are now going to return the Torah to the ark. Please rise. Okay, whatever you like. Vezot haTorah asher sam Moshe lifnei bnei Yisrael al pi Adonai ve'ad Moshe. Over there. It's time, Hini Matau, Shiva Meusar. It's time, Hini Matau, Shiva Meusar. Shalom, 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 shalom. Shalom, shalom. It is a tree of life to those that hold fast to it, and all of its supporters are happy. It is a tree of life to them that hold fast to it, and all of its supporters are happy. Shalom, 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 shalom. Shalom, shalom. We're going to remain standing, actually. We're going to continue with the Amidah, which is on, I'm sorry. Thanks, Larry. God. We're continuing with the Aleinu, which you will find on page 74. Please remain standing. לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו Please be seated. Hold on to what is good even if it is a handful of earth. Hold on to what is good, to what you believe, even if it is a tree which stands by itself. Hold on to what you must do, even if it is a long way from here. Hold on to life, even when it is easier letting go. Hold on to my hand, even when I have gone away from you. As we turn to the Mourner's Kaddish, another one of the Kaddish prayers that we say throughout the service, the words don't change. They are prayers and praise of God, even in our hardest moments. That is the way that we handle memory. We offer gratitude for having known the people that we knew and the way in which they changed our lives. We are in a period of Shiva this week for Larry Golden, brother of Penny Michelin and uncle of Josh Michelin. And this week, we recall the yahrzeits for Charles Jacobs, grandfather of Aviva Ferrier, Milton Katz, father of Joseph Katz, Beatrice Novak Lesson, mother of Bart Lesson, and Hester Zahorek, mother of Christopher Zahorek. There's somebody else who you are remembering this weekend whose yahrzeit has fallen this week. If you'd like to share their name with us, I'll invite you to do so. We rise and join together for Kaddish Tom, the Mourner's Kaddish, on page 78. Yitkadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divarach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, be'chayechon uvyomechon u'chayei zechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yithalal shmei dekudashah b'richu la'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata ta'amiran be'alma v'yimru amen. Yehi shlama Rabbah min shemaya v'hayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom b'romav Huya aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. May the source of peace bring peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved, to which we say, amen. Oseh shalom b'romav, Huya aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, Ve'imru, amen. Ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Please be seated. Except for Bruce. Bruce, my friend, if you wouldn't mind. Here are some announcements right here for you. Thank you so much. Ooh, you're right there. Thank you.
I'll just
Yep.
pull this down a little bit. Good Shabbos. Our annual CST Purim Carnival is this Sunday, March 20. It begins with the Megillah reading at 9:30 a.m. and our carnival runs from 10 through noon. Costumes encouraged and masks required. Bring your friends and get ready for fun. Thank Spring and participate in our spring bulb sale raising funds for our Tauber caring community. Go to shirtikva.org for information. We are thrilled to be hosting an in-person Passover Seder for the first time since the pandemic began. Join us on the second night of Passover, Saturday, April 16, for this wonderful family event. Register now at shirtikva.org. Our division champs softball team is looking for players for the upcoming season. All genders welcome. Contact Brotherhood at shirtikva.org. Have you been joining us either in person or virtually for Shabbat services, and are you interested in membership? Please contact our Executive Director, Lorelei Berg, at info@shirtikva.org with questions or to learn more. Good Shabbos, everyone. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you. Bruce is a pinch
Thank
hitter
you,
for
Rabbi.
us today. Thank you, Bruce. So thank you for being here. This is my first CST Purim in person. So I'm very excited. Seventh grade has been working, I was going to use the word diligently, but I would say working on they're wonderful. I love them. On the Purim Spiel / Megillah reading we are doing on Sunday morning. So even if you aren't somebody who typically comes on Sunday morning, I invite you to come for the chaos. It'll be lovely. We are going to continue. We're going to conclude our service with Od Yavo Shalom this evening, which is on page 83. I'm still thinking so much of the people in the Ukraine and sending them peace and hoping for a swift end to all of this. So I just thought, Od Yavo Shalom, may there be peace upon us soon. May it come quickly. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam Shalom. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam Shalom. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Oh my goodness, it's happening! So, I'd like to debut the latest version of the first and second grade challah covers. It's so exciting. This is the Purim version. We have Mordechai, Esther, and Haman is on this year. And it says Purim. I love it. It's so great. I love these. This is wonderful. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. L'chaim, everybody. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lachem min haaretz. Amen. Challah rolls, thank you. Little challah. You just never know. We noticed that we were like wasting a lot of challah. So, well, everybody, Shabbat Shalom. Thank you for being here. I offer again gratitude to Judith Kaplan, who was that first young woman to stand up on the bima during puberty in the height of the most awkward moments of your life to do this, to pave the way for all of us who are sitting in this room. So I hope it is a Shabbat of joy and one of some good weather and some outside time. And we look forward to celebrating on Sunday. Still light out. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Zoom folks, I will join you in just a second, so don't log off quite yet. All right. Oh, thanks, Larry. It was my